difficulties as usual. Okay, there we go. And we are back with another Sabbath talk with Moreh, Achi'ka. And this is the Covenant edition, y'all. Hey, we trying to get through. We trying to get through it. And but it's only taking us long because it's so many layers to peel back, y'all. It's so many layers to peel back. It's so much stuff that that can be, brought out just in verse by verse. So we're trying to give it to y'all verse by verse, and just give you the understanding of what's going on. So without further ado, I'm gonna let my brother go ahead and get into it because he's eager to get this lesson through. So all praises.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you again for taking the time out to listen to this message and this teaching on the covenant. Like the brother said, I generally don't like to rush through things. The reason why is because there's so much to be understood. I mean, from an English perspective or a Western mindset, they're making you think that the covenant is something that is not. The covenant is the key, and I'll say it one more time: the covenant is the key to understanding about what is going to happen. Right. So it's been revealed through the Torah about why the covenant is so important. The covenant is actually going to be used, okay, to judge the children of Israel. That's what it's going to be used to judge us. It's not going to be because you weren't able to make any sacrifices. That's not going to be the reason, okay? It's not going to be the reason he says that, your offerings to me, I've already accepted your offerings because you made a covenant with me, right? And that is in Psalms 50. He talks about you made a covenant with me. So he's not looking for any sacrifice. He's not looking for any bulls. He's not looking for any goats, okay? But what he is looking for is the faithful of the people. So people who have made themselves available to him. And so to learn about the Torah. Now, if you don't know about the Torah, then you're done. That's just the way it's going to be. And, so it could be good news to us, but also could be bad news. Brother, if you'd like to pull up the presentation for me right quick, I want to just point out a couple of different things before we continue. Last week, we stopped off in verse number, chapter number 20, verse number 5, but I want to give a little bit more context, a little bit more information about this. Is there any way I can control this?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah, so let me see.
Yeah, that's your screen. You should be able to.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, I'm able to. Yeah. Is that me making it larger, or is that you making it larger?
I just made it larger.
Okay, push on slideshow right quick. You can? Can you? Do you control it? Because it's not allowing me to.
Nah, I can't control it.
You can't control.
Yeah.
All right, command. Let me see. Huh. I'm sorry.
It's all good, brother. We always go through things with technical difficulties with these computers and machines, but we go get through it.
Yeah.
The adversary is trying to stop the covenant edition from going on and happening, but he can't stop it. We go get through it. All praises.
Yeah, it's not allowing me to.
You should drop it and then bring it back up and see what that do.
All right, so here I'm gonna stop. Last time it was responding, but this time it's tripping. So let's see. Let me see.
All praise to the Most High. We gonna get through it, y'all. Just be patient with us. All praise.
There you go. You take down my photo there. There you go. You can. There you go. All right. So everyone, thank you again. Apologies for the technical difficulty, but at any rate, I think one of the most important things we need to understand about the Most High's covenant is that what we're dealing with everyone are words. Okay. And so I'm going to go to a slide that has to do with the words of the Most High. Okay. This other slides I have here are not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the fact of here it is. This is probably what I'm on. All right. So we'll start right here. All right, we'll start. Yeah, we'll start right here. Okay. So in our slide, everyone, you can see, and I'm bringing here, and it's not Psalms 51, actually. It should be a correction. It should be Psalms 50. And in this in particular psalm, instead of me going there, you can look at it for yourself. It's called Psalms 50. Okay. Tehillim 50. And this psalm here is talking about the judgment that the Most High is going to have on the people, his people that are not listening to him, right? And the ones who are listening to him, they're going to be judged according to the words that have been spoken. So the covenant, it says here, is our Elohim is coming. He's not staying silent with the devouring fire ahead of him and a great storm raging around him. He calls to the heavens above and to the earth in order to judge his people. And he says this, gather to me my faithful, those who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So the covenant is not in Psalms 51, it's actually Psalms 50. So there's a correction that needs to be made on this in particular slide. So ignore that at the bottom, okay? But the point that I'm trying to make to you and show you is this part right here that talks about the, let me see, the covenant. That's the most important part, where he says, the ones who made a covenant with me, right? So you want to know who the faithful is. Now, in English, it says faithful, but that's not what it's talking about, okay? In Hebrew, it's talking about an individual or individuals that had what they would call in Hebrew called kasid. Okay, it's not faithful. It's not somebody that believes anything. So that's like literally a mistranslation of the English language. So it's not gather me to the ones who are faithful. That's not what he's literally saying. He's literally saying, gather to me the ones who are called kasid. And kasid means the ones who are kind, the ones who have shown kindness to. The individuals that the Most High is going to show kindness to, brother, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like for you to bring up right quick, if you wouldn't mind. Let me see if I can bring this up right quick. Let me share it. Maybe I can do it. Let me share my screen. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to bring up what I'm talking about, because I want all this to make sense. Okay. Right. So I don't want to be saying something and you really don't understand what I'm saying. Okay. So in Deuteronomy, the chapter number 7, okay, is going to tell us the ones that the Most High is going to show what they would call kased. Okay. So if you're looking at my screen right quick, okay, I want you to see this. Right? Is this verse right here, So we're in Deuteronomy. I could pull it right here at the top so you can see it. Deuteronomy chapter number 7. When you look at this verse right here, it's in verse number uh, verse number 9. Okay. Verse number 9. So what does this have to do with the covenant? It's in verse number 9. It says, for this you can know. It has Adonai right there, but as I told you a few weeks ago, that Adonai is just Yohe Wahe, our Elohim. Your Elohim is indeed Elohim, the faithful Elohim who keeps his covenant and extends grace to those who love him and who observe his commandments, that mitzvot, his commandments, to 1,000 generations. Okay. So in verse number 9 is telling you, right, that Yahweh is only going to show mercy to the individuals, okay, that are keeping his commandment, because he keeps his covenant. Okay. And his covenant is the 10 words that he has expressed and that he has told us that these are the words that he's going to keep. These are the words that he's going to guard. Yahweh is going to guard these words. Okay. So Deuteronomy chapter number 7, verse number 9. Okay. So when it says he keeps his covenant, it means he's guarding his covenant. The next word here is extends grace. Now, you and I know that extension of something is, something is like stretching out, right? And it talks about grace. But this word grace right here is an abstract term. You and I, from our Christian, backgrounds, have told us that grace is, getting what getting something that you deserve, or excuse me, don't deserve. So grace is showing you mercy, right? Showing you some type of, compassion, right? You're getting grace. He's showing grace to those who love him and keep his commandments, or guard his commandments, or do his commandments to 1,000 generations. So if we were to look at this from the Hebrew, it would say something completely different. Okay. And so what I want to do, I just want to read it in English first so you can understand. So we're right here focused on this verse. From this, you can know that Yahweh your Elohim is indeed Elohim, the faithful Elohim who keeps his covenant and extends grace to those who love him and observe his commandments to 1,000 generations. Okay. Now we're going to deal with this grace, and we're going to deal with this so-called love. This love here is not just past tense. It's actually actively loving him. It's not just saying you love him in one moment. It means that you love him, and that's in your heart, and that's all it is, but it's not active. What he's talking about is those who love me actively, right? And who are observing. We have to look at this in Hebrew and see if this is doing or if this is guarding, because that makes a difference, okay, of his mitzvot, and this is his commandments in Hebrew, okay, to 1,000 generations. But he says, but he repays those who hate him. Now that is in the past tense, who hate him, right? But that's not in the past. In the Hebrew, it's in the what they call the present tense. So those who are hating him. So it's individuals who are loving him, and there's individuals who are hating him. So he's going to repay those people to their face, and he destroys them, right? And he will not be slow with who hates him, who's hating him. He will repay him to his face, okay? So it says, therefore, you are to keep, meaning to guard these commandments, these laws, these rulings, these mishpatim, these kukim, which I'm giving you today, that you are to obey them, all right? So I want to take a look at it. I think this is a nice little segue before we get into the actual covenant, because we're going to do a verse number 6 of the covenant, right? So let me see here. Deuteronomy chapter number 7. And we'll read verse number 9. You have any questions, brother, before we continue?
Oh no, I'm listening. I'm listening. Let me see if we got any questions. We got some comments.
We got some comments
Sister
or
Ronnie,
anything? Anyone has any questions?
Sister Ronnie say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, sister.
Sister Shabbat Shalom. All right. So this is very critical. Okay. Very critical for us. Now, these are the only individuals. And this is something that I'm like I said, I'm really happy that you decided to have me teach on the covenant, because I believe that's directed from the Most High, because this is where we're at right now. Okay. This is the stuff that we need to know, because this is the most important thing. This is it. Okay. So now I'm going to share this with you right quick so you can get a better understanding. That's in English. So we've been looking at English. I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see what it says in Hebrew. Okay. Because I'm a Hebrew teacher, and this is how we need to learn the Torah. This is how we need to learn the covenant. Okay. So let me share my screen again with you. And we're going to do here, Deuteronomy chapter number 7, verse number 9. Now, that's on the screen now. Okay. All right. So don't get intimidated by what you see in Hebrew. Okay. Do not get intimidated by it. That's why I'm here to help us understand it. You can verify what I'm saying. Okay. So I'm going to make it a little bit larger so you can literally see more of what I'm saying. Okay. So the first part of this verse here in chapter 7, Deuteronomy, verse number 9, and of course the word Deuteronomy means words, right? The ancient Hebrew is called Davarim. So the book that we would call in the Torah Deuteronomy, that's not its original name. That is the name that's given by the Greeks. And it means the giving of the law the second time. But it's not about the giving of the law the second time. See, so names make you understand things. So if your understanding is the giving of the law a second time, you're missing what it really means. Okay. Because the word is called Davarim. Okay. And Davarim means these words. Okay. Davarim, that's the name of the book. Okay. So in verse number 9, it says, and you will know. That's what this word Wayadata means. Okay. You see it right here above. Wayadata. Wayadata. That's how you say that, right? In Hebrew. And so that Wayadata means there is to be, not from a grammatical or a abstract term of knowing something in terms of book knowledge, but what it's talking about is being intimate. That's what yada means. Yada means 3045. If I click on that number, this number right here, 345, 3045, it would tell you that it means yada. Okay. And yada means to know. So I'm going to click on it just so you can see how I'm coming up with this. There it is, yada. And yada means to acknowledge, acquaintance, and all this kind of stuff, to understand, to perceive, and to know. Those are all, grammatical words, things that, make us certain things. So, look at things differently. But really what it means is to be close. Okay. So in Hebrew is different than all these definitions, all the way that they decided to make it, for their culture and for their language. They wanted it to mean all these things. They wanted to mean different ways, observation, recognition, instruction, designation, punishment, to follow, acknowledge, acquaintance, advise, answer, appoint. And it's really, really confusing, because they're making it very difficult for you to understand what this word literally means. And so when you're seeing all these different definitions, you're going, well, what is it? Right? This is not Yahweh's way. This is not agriculture. When you talk to the Hebrew people in the Hebrew mind, they make things very simple. Okay? It's very simple. They made it hard. They're making it difficult. Right? So my job as an instructor or a teacher, what they would call a Moreh, right? So I call myself Achi'ka because I'm your brother, but I am an instructor. So as a Moreh, I'm supposed to direct you and to instruct you on a simple way for you to understand things. So what I want you to understand is like all these definitions that you have right here, all the way that the KJV, the King James Bible version, makes all this like this. This thing is you say, is it wrong? No, it's all abstract. Okay. It has to do with stuff that you would never remember. Okay. So I want to show you an easier way to understand it. Okay. So the easiest way to understand this, they got parts of speech, a verb, and all this, and transliteration, pronunciation, yada, and all this. Each one of these letters is made up of 3 letters, right? So that word, this first letter right here, is called a yod. Okay. And a yod represents in Hebrew, it means from a anatomic perspective or something that you can relate to, has to do with your hand. That's what that is. That's what that letter represents. It means a hand, a HAND, a hand. Okay. That's what it has to deal with, a hand. So to know something or to perceive something, to understand something, to acknowledge something has to do with, in Hebrew, just has to do with the hand. Okay. And so what are some of the things that you do with your hand? Well, a hand belongs to an individual. It can belong to a male or a female. We have hands. Okay. We use our hands to do work. We use our hands to touch things. We use our hands to grab hold of. We use our hands to clap. We use our hands to gather. We use our hands to dig. We use our hands for tools. You're using your hands, right, to do a lot of things. And so when they say that you're acquainted or acknowledged, it's because of what you're doing with your hands. Okay. So basically your hand is what all this is. Okay. When you talk about being aware of something, it's like what you become aware of something when you grab it with your hand. When talking about to be diligent here, when it says to be diligent, it's talking about moving the hand. So this is how they're talking. They're describing the actions of the hand, and you and I just didn't know it. Okay. They say here to feel. You would never put be diligent with feeling. Well, how would it feel? Because of the hand. To know something, it could be acquainted with it, right? To be acquainted with. That's because you're touching it with your hand. Okay. When you acknowledge something, you're looking at it with your hand after you grabbed it. Okay. So when you look at all these and instruct, pointing your finger with your hands. So how can instruction be the same as a kinfolk or a kinsman or a relative? They must be near you to know them. To know them how? You've become familiar with them. You've touched them. You felt them. You've seen them. All these different types of things. Okay. So that is the first letter of this word of yada. Well, what does this have to do with the covenant? Well, what this has to do with the covenant is saying that in this context, the Most High is going to tell you that he said the only way that you can know this or know me is by having some knowledge of me. And the only way that you have knowledge of me is by using your hands. So what is it that we become acquainted with? Well, we become acquainted with the Most High through the things that we touch. What are you touching? What did Moshe have in his hands? He had the 10 words, which they will call the covenant. Okay. The next letter is the Dalet. This letter right here, the next letter that's right after the Yod, is this letter right here, the Dalet. And that's a D sound, right? And that's why you have in here your letter D. Right here, D. That's represented by this letter right here. Okay. So it's Ya, like a Y, Ya, right here, Ya, and then Da, which is represented by this, Da, Yada. Okay. So this right here, this D right here in Hebrew means a door. It's a door. And so the first one's your hand, the second one's a door. Okay. And the last one, and a door does what? A door moves back and forth. A door, you can use a door to go in and out. It has movement. It's open to close. Okay. And the next one is called an ayin. Okay. An ayin in Hebrew is silent, right? So there's no sound because it has to do with the eye. Okay. But just alone by putting these 2 letters together, these 2 letters right here called da, so it's ya, right here, ya, ya, which is right here, ya. That's how you say it. And the next one is da, right here, da, yada. Okay. So if you ya, okay, da, okay, and that da in Hebrew means the door of the eye. The first letter is the dalet, which is the door, and the second letter is the eye. So it's the door of the eye. Okay, the door of the eye. And so, what is the door of the eye? You're saying that your eyes have doors. What do you think the door of your eye is, Abiyah? What's the door? What opens and closes for your eye?
Eyelid.
It's your eyelid.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So your eyelid opens and it closes. Okay. So what do we use our eyes for? What do we open and close our eyes for? You open them to see, and you open them to perceive. You open your eyes. So when you look at these definitions, right? All these definitions right here, skillful, show, learn, tell, understand, all this kind of stuff, right? Teach, surety, and all this, and being known, making known and understand all this kind of stuff, new, know, make, and all that, and to consider and comprehend, it comes from you opening the door of your eye. That's what it comes from. You opening the door of your eye. Your eye is what opens so you can see things, so you can acknowledge something, so you can have knowledge of it. So that's the visual observation. Okay. So this whole word of yada has so many different meanings and so many elements to it. It's just not no. It's the door, it's the hand, it's the handle, it's to work, is to move, it's movement, it's eye to open, close, perceive, understand. It's what the eye does, how the eye functions. Okay. So another thing in Hebrew, the door, the eye, or the door is seeing something, or the eye sees something. So if you look at the eye, which is represented by this letter ayin that you have right here, and the next one is door, that if you were to reverse these letters versus the door eye, the eye of the door, right? It means to see the door, because the eye sees the door. What door does the eye see in terms of the people of Israel? What door were they, and where was the door? What door are you talking about, Achi'ka? I'm talking about the door to the tent in the wilderness, as you can see in my picture. Okay, like when I'm not sharing the screen, or when we're not sharing the screen, there was a tabernacle, and in the tabernacle it had tent doors. Okay, so the tent doors represent the doors of the tent, and so when they were out there in the wilderness, they would see with their eyes Moses going back and forth to the tent, going back and forth to the testimony, where the ark of the covenant was. And what was in the ark of the covenant? What was in the ark of the covenant, Abiyah?
The law.
That was the law, which is called the covenant, which is the 10 words. Do you see? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have the door of the eye, right? And we have the eye of the door that looks towards the door. Okay. Which means that you're a witness. So if you reverse those letters from a dalet and an ayin to an ayin and a dalet, if I just took these two letters and I reversed them, it would let you know these two letters right here. If I was to reverse them and put the ayin first and the dalet, it would mean eye door, door eye, meaning to see the door. To see the door means you're being a witness. A witness to what? Why do you need a witness when you go to court? What is a witness supposed to do? Somebody tell me. What are you supposed to do when you go to court and you're a witness?
Give a retelling of a event that you've seen
Yeah, and what is that called?
or witnessing or
Thank you. But it's called a testimony.
testimony. Yeah.
And it
Hmm.
said an event that you, what? You just said it, that you've seen. Got that?
Right. Right.
So if you've seen something with your own eyes, you're familiar with it. It makes you a witness, which makes it means that you're giving a testimony. Okay. And so whatever's in the ark of the cup, what's inside of the ark?
The covenant.
And they call that the ark of the what? The testimony.
Hmm. Mm.
It's called the ark of the testimony, called the aduth, Aduth, the aduth. Okay. In Hebrew. All right. That's what it's called. Okay. So the adut, the ark of the testimony. That's what it's called.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. So this is what we're having to that's what we're trying to understand. That's what you're trying to understand. You're trying to understand the ark of the testimony, which have been written on by the finger of Yah. So it's not just the Ark of the Covenant. He doesn't even call it that. He calls it the Ark of the Testimony. Okay. Now, I want to prove to you about what I just said. Okay. I don't want to say anything and you not be able to see it for yourself. Okay. Because a lot of teachers say stuff, but they never ever show you. They never, it's like they have all this information and they never want to show you, but I'm going to show it to you. Okay. So we're going to leave where we just read right quick. And I know I'm bouncing around, but as you notice, I can take one word. The first word is yada, that you will know. Know what? That Yahweh is Elohim, that you would know that those that love him and keep his commandments, right? But you got to know what it means to love him, what he's talking about, to know him, right? So I want to share with you the screen. Let me show you right here. I'm going to share it with you. You have a
And that's
question?
how it is. That's how it is. You know, when you get into this language, it's so much to unpack with just a couple of words or just one word. You know,
Yeah,
you be stuck on one sentence for weeks trying to really
yeah,
unpack it. You know.
absolutely. So here you see I'm in Google, right? I'm on Google Slides, right? I'm in Google. I'm just going to search it up, okay? I'm going to put in here what I just told you. I put you the Hebrew word and I said adut, okay? I'm going to put it in there so you can see it. The Hebrew word, and I could put Hebrew word and then I'll just put testimony. Hebrew word for testimony. Okay. Okay. That's what I said. See the screen? Yes? You can see it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So I just typed it in there. Right. And so what we're doing is we're looking at this word. I said Hebrew word for testimony. It is most commonly adut. Okay. Do you remember that I told you that it's going to be the first two letters? Is these are the letters right here. Those letters right there. Adut. It has a ayin, which is the first letter right here. That means a I. And the second letter is the dalet. It is often translated as witness or testimony. So everything that Achi'ka just told you is verified. I told you if you switch those letters away from a dalet and an ayin and just switch them to aleph and a dalet, it means witness. So what it is, right, is you are a witness. Okay? So the most frequently word used in Hebrew for testimony, it often refers to a declaration or statement as given as evidence. Because what we're talking about, especially in a legal context. So when the Most High is finding a way to judge, okay, because he says that he's the judge of all the earth, he's coming to judge, okay? This is a reason why you and I need, and I'm going to do this right quick so you can see it. He's telling us, I'm going to stop the share on that, and I'm going to bring this one back up so it can bring some context so you can understand. Right here. We need to understand about what he is saying. We don't know what he's saying. We really don't understand it. Can you bring it up for me, Ak? Let me see. Oh, here it is. I got it right here. I'll bring it up. There you go. Okay. So when the Most High is telling us that I'm going to, hold on. It's not there. It's the second one that talks about slides. Do you see it? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go back on my slides right quick so you can see. I read to you earlier where it says Elohim is coming. He's not saying silent, with a fire devouring ahead of him and a great storm raging around him. He calls to the heavens above and to the earth in order to what? To judge his people. So the setting is judgment. The setting is if there's a judge and there's judgment that's happening, then there has to be witnesses. This is the reason why he's calling out to the heavens and the earth, because they're the ones that he's been testifying to about his people and what they've been doing. They're the ones who are going to give witness to what we've done. They're the ones who give witness to the Sabbath day. They're the ones who give witness that he spoke to us. They're the ones who's giving witness. They're reliable witnesses. Do you understand? Okay. So when we're talking about a judge, okay, we're talking about court. And when we're talking about court, we're talking about someone bringing evidence and bringing testimony. Okay. So the ones that he's saying calling to him are the ones who have been not only faithful that they have there, but it's called a chassid. It's the individuals who have been, who he has shown mercy to. And that's when I was trying to bring us in that chapter number 7, verse number 9, where it says that the Most High is going to show mercy to those who love him and keep and guard his commandments or his covenant. You understand? So as a judge, he's going to call for witnesses. And the witnesses are the individuals that he has shown with, they had visual observation. They've literally used their eyes and they saw fire and they heard Yahweh speak out of the fire to them the 10 words, which are called the Eseret HaDavarim. Okay. Okay. And I'm not going to get into what he's looking for at this point, but it's the Eseret HaDavarim. Okay. he gets on these people, right, about the wicked, about the violations that they've done against, and according in this context, he gets on them about what they have done in terms of how they violated the law of the Most High. So how could he hold them responsible? How could he hold you or me responsible? Because we just read the law? No, you're going to be held responsible because you saw the law. You saw the fire and you remained alive. You understand? So here he's telling them that guess what? You wicked people who have done these things right here, who have gone against the seventh word, which is a part of, they call the 10 Commandments, but it's the seventh word that he spoke, the words, the Davarim that the Most High said, and they're involved in idolatry, adultery, theft, and false speech, which are the seventh, the eighth, and the ninth statement in the actual adut, meaning the testimony that Yah gave. So what it is the way that they live their lives. They have sworn falsely against the Most High. They're saying that what he said is not true. He says that you have thrown in your lot with adulterers. That means that you know that somebody's involved in adultery and you don't say anything. You don't condemn them. He says you see a thief, you join up with him. You don't condemn them either. You hang around with people. You're walking in the counsel of the ungodly, the wicked. You sit in the seat of scornfuls. You walk with the sinners. You understand? You take the counsel of the ungodly. This is the people he's talking about, the people who have flung his words behind their back. He said, you've given your mouth free rein, right, for evil and harness your tongue to deceit, which goes against the ninth word that was spoken in the 10 words, which is called the testimony, which you had witnessed. You understand? And he's dealing with the wicked. Okay? Anyone who goes outside of the laws and the statutes and the covenant of the Most High is considered to be wicked. So, Achi'ka, can you please show me where you're saying that anyone who goes outside of the Torah is wicked? Because I've never heard that before. That doesn't make any sense to me, right? So let me stop my share and let me help you understand where you and I can go and find out. I'm going to share something else with you. I'm going to share a screen. I'm going to show you where you can find this so you won't think, okay? You will not think that I'm making this up, okay? I'm not making it up. I'm telling you the truth. I'm trying to get your mind prepared to receive the remaining parts of what the Most High has said, okay? Because this is what you and I are going to be judged for, okay? So it's going to be found in the book of Proverbs. And I'm going to bring you there right quick, and we're going to share it with you so you can see it for yourself. So you can't say that I just said something that wasn't true. It's in chapter number 28. Okay. We're going to begin in verse number 4. Okay. I'm going to make it larger so you can see it. Okay. Chapter number 28. Hopefully you can see the screen. Let me share it with you. There it is. Let me get rid of this right here. This is bothering me. Get rid of this little ad right here. Move that out the way. And using cookies, no, that's okay.
Man, them pop-ups be bugged, don't they?
Bugging, right? So here's the deal. If you read carefully, Abiyah, read verse number 4 for the listeners. What does it say?
Those who abandon Torah praise the wicked, but those who keep Torah fight them.
You fight them. Okay? Verse 5 says, evil people don't understand justice, which in Hebrew would be judgment. But those who seek Yahweh understand everything. You understand? Okay? Now, verse number 9. Read that, Abiyah, for your listeners. What does it say?
If a person will not listen to Torah, Even his prayers are abomination.
Thank you. So if you're not, so he says that for if you abandon the Torah, you're praising the wicked. If you you keep the Torah, you'll fight them. You'll fight on Yah's behalf. You'll say, no, this is what it is. So this is when he's talking about don't hang out with the thief, don't hang out with the adulterer, don't sit back with your boys and know that he's having an affair on his wife and justify it because his wife is on her bad behavior. Is he messing around with someone else's wife? That's adultery. She's messing around with a married man, and she's messing around with a man and she's married. That's adultery. It's a covenant that should not be broken. So we've been given the Torah as part of our covenant. Okay, it's the agreement. So a lot of people don't even understand. They think, listen to me carefully, they think that the Torah is the same as the covenant. They think that the Torah is the same as the covenant, and it is not. The Torah is the instructions that are part of the covenant. It's a part of it. It's not the whole entire thing. So we got our lines crossed. We're thinking covenant and Torah are the same, and they're not. They work together. Okay, just like the judgments of the Most High is not the Torah. The Torah are the instructions on how to carry out the judgments of Yah. They work in harmony. Okay, so we have several things. We have the Torah, we have the covenant, we have that which is included inside of the Torah, which is the judgments, the mishpatim. We have the kukim, which are the decrees of the Most High. They're not the same. We have the moedim. Okay, the Torah tells you how to do the moedim. The Torah tells you how to keep the mishpatim. The Torah tells you how to follow the kukim, which is the decrees. Okay, the moedim are the appointed times. So the Torah's instructions on how to carry out Yah's laws and his commandments. You understand? But we've never been told that. Okay, so if you're not going to listen to the instructions, right? You're not going to listen to the instructions. Then you're going to definitely have a problem. Okay, because then you're not going to know how to carry out Yahweh's judgments. You understand? So this is where we're at. Okay, so I bring this out because I'm letting you know that the wicked and the righteous are two different classifications of people. So when the Most High says that I have a problem with the wicked, or bring out to my faithful, my Kassid are righteous. The wicked are completely different. The wicked are completely different than the righteous. Okay? They are. So let me share my screen again, bringing us back to the slides so we can get a conclusion on this matter. Okay? Is it coming up?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it the new?
Slide,
okay, it's
slide 15. No, that's not. One? No, it's not that one.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, there we go. That's where we're at.
All praises.
All praises. So when we see it says the covenant at the top 10 words, Aseret Hadavrim, the word Aseret Hadavrim means the 10 words that you were a witness to, that you testified to. That's what makes you a faithful witness, is when you testify to what it was spoken behind what was kept in that golden box that you call the Ark of the Covenant. That's the adut. That is the testimony. So what he's saying is that the way that you live your life, if you're living in adultery and theft and false speech, you're a false witness. You're not a viable witness. You're a false witness.
Right.
And all false witnesses will be dealt with, and they're going to be destroyed, like he says in the Torah. the instructions. If someone wanted something bad to happen and they're testifying false, let whatever testimony they want to happen to them is going to happen. Whatever they said that was false is going to happen to them. So if they were looking for the death penalty on someone, they're the ones who are going to receive it. So the Most High is telling you everything that has been said and spoken through the Hadavarim, these words that I'm saying to you, is what's going to judge you. You're going to get judged. That's what he's coming to do. And in finally conclusion on this part of our teaching today, he says, when you do such things like the things that were just mentioned, he says, should I stay silent? You may thought that I was just like you. That word thought is not a thought. It actually means resemble or to be like you. That means to resemble in an appearance. You thought that I was just like you, meaning you thought I was a human being. You thought I was just going to sit down and not say anything. You thought that I was going to be agreeable with this. I'm not, but I will rebuke and indict you to your face. That's judgment. That is what it is. That has to do with the covenant. So don't think that because you are an Israelite or because you know the Torah or because you say the Torah or because you're saying the things that you want to be heard. He said, you say these things to the wicked. Elohim, what right do you have to proclaim my decrees or take my covenant on your lips? The wicked are people who are among the Kassid, the people who are faithful to the Most High, the people who have been shown mercy. The wicked are still among there's wicked people among Yahweh's people that know the covenant, but they're being false witnesses to it. He says, when you so hate correction, you don't want to receive it. You hate to receive correction, and you fling my words behind you, behind your back. What words? My Davarim. What Davarim? The 10 Davarim, the Aseret HaDavarim, the words that I told you. The words that I mentioned about adultery, that thou should not commit adultery, lo tinaf. You should not steal, lo tignov. That's in Hebrew. You should not bear false witness, lo ta'ane v're'akad Achi'ka. You should not bear false witness, to give a false answer about anybody. Those are the words. Those are 3 of the words that he said, lo this, lo that, and lo this. Lo tinaf, lo tignov, and lo ta'ane v're'akad Achi'ka. That means that you should not answer your neighbor falsely. That means you should not commit adultery. That means that you should never steal. You understand? And he's saying to you and I, when you do these such things that he just mentioned, you think that I'm going to stay silent? So if he's not going to stay silent, that means he's going to say something. What is he going to say? He's going to say the very thing that you said that you're going to do. He's going to give the opposite. So when he says lo tinaf, that means no adultery. When he says that when he speaks to you, when he's going to, when you hear his voice, like they did at Mount Sinai, when you give testimony to that, you're going to die. Because the children of Israel said, who of all of the people on the face of the earth has ever heard Yahweh speaking out of the fire and stayed alive as we have today? Let's stop listening to what he's talking about, and you go for us on our behalf, Moses, and everything he tells you we'll do, because we don't want to die. If we continue to hear his voice, we're going to die. You understand? So, if we don't listen to the words of the Most High Yah, and we don't adopt and accept what he says, okay, and we don't capitulate, okay, there's another slide that I got in here that I want to show you something, because there are his witnesses. Let me show you right quick. The witnesses that Yah has is the sun, the moon, and the stars. Those are the individuals, those are the entities that are just nothing but light that's going to testify against you. So he says that you're a witness, you witness me speaking to you. The sun and the moon and the stars, by the way, people, okay, are the ones who keep Yahweh's laws. They got laws too. They keep his laws.
Correct.
You understand? They keep his laws. They keep his laws. They stick to what he said. Okay. So I want you to see something right quick that can probably help you understand something. In order for us to keep Yahweh's laws and to keep the covenant and to guard the covenant, we have to have what they call Ava. Sounds like Abba, like your father, but in Hebrew it's Ava. And Ava means it has the word father in it. Okay. It does. It has the word father in it. But what it's dealing with is a desire. What is the father's desire? If your desires don't line up with his desires, that means that you're in opposition against him. So I have a couple of different ideas to surround this word desire. And desire means your will. Your will has to line up with Yahweh's will. Your testimony has to line up with Yahweh's testimony. Your way of life, your thinking has to line up with what he's talking about. Because if it doesn't line up, then you're not doing what he wants. So part of your will being aligned with his will means that you have to capitulate. Okay? And capitulate basically means you're going to have to cease from your resistance to what he has said. We do not have any other power over us. Your will and desire, you're going to have to capitulate. You have to put how you feel and what you want on the back burner. That has nothing to do with what Yahweh has in store for you and I. Nothing. Nothing. Your will and your desire does not outweigh the will and desire of the Creator. Second word, cause. You're going to have to rise up and take some form of action to guard what the 10 words are, the covenant. You're going to have to allow those words that you're testifying to, that you're giving witness to, that you see on a daily basis. Because I told you in the last few lessons, I get up every single morning and I know every single word that he said. Every word I know. Not that I just know it, yada. Not only am I'm intimate with it, I see it. I go to the Ark of the Covenant. Without the Ark, I go to the words, the most important thing. It wasn't the Ark that was the most important part of the tabernacle. It was what was in the Ark that was the most valuable. It's the testimony. It's not the box. It's the testimony. You understand? And the gold that's in the testimony, the Ark of the Covenant, and the gold cover was there to represent the wealth and the value, because he says it was his throne. That's where Moshe would meet with the Most High. That's where he would go and he would see the glory of Yahweh over the Ark of the Covenant, which, if it is the throne of Yah, which he said it was on the face of the earth, he's sitting upon the throne of Yah. That's underneath him is the 10 words. It's his testimony that he's sitting upon is what he said. And because of what he said, that's what's going to be proclaimed. It's what the heavens heard. We think that our ancestors are the only ones who heard it. The heavens heard the Most High speak those words. The heavens heard, the earth heard that he said that he's our Elohim. They're the witnesses. They're not the only ones who heard Yah speak. It was the seraphim, the fiery ones that heard the Most High. It was the cherubim that heard the Most High. The guardians of Yahweh's throne heard Yahweh speak to the children of Israel. And those are the words that need to be accepted and need to be affirmed. You are accepting the words. You're affirming the words. You're not rejecting the words. And you're bringing about Yahweh's desire for you in your life. He says that I am your Elohim. I'm your power. And he has not done so for anybody else on the face of the earth. I do not know anyone else but you. That's what he said. That's what he said. Of all the families on the face of the earth, I don't know anybody but you. Where's that at, Achi'ka? Why are you saying some things I've never heard before? It's in Amos chapter number 3. That's where it's at. Those are the words that the Most High has said. And you and I haven't been told. Oh, I don't know. So because I don't know means that I'm going to get an excuse. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. There is no one that is going to walk away and believe because you did not feel that you didn't hear it, that, I'm going to get off. I'm getting a waiver. You're not getting a waiver. None of us are getting a waiver. Okay. So let me show you so you can understand that you're not going to walk away. You understand? This is Yah's desire. This is his will. This is what he's asking from us. Okay? So I'm going to share it with you. And then we're going to try to get into chapter number 20, verse number 6. This is the I would say the opening appetizer before we get into the actual covenant, the 10 words. Okay. We went verses 1 through 5. We explained that. You go back and look at some of the other tapes and look at what we've been talking about if you want to catch up on it. Okay. But it's very thorough. It's not going to be something that's going to be ran through. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen with you. And I'm going to help you understand why this is so important. Okay. You see on your screen, Amos chapter number 3. Let me make it larger so you can literally see what it says. This is a prophet whom the Most High has spoken to. And what he says is listen to this word. That's the first thing he says. Listen to this word. This word in Hebrew has to do with the idea of what you and I just been seeing in our screen about davarim, a davar. This word right here is supposed to order you because that's what Hebrew, the word in Hebrew means davar, and davar means order. Words are given to you, like the 10 words, in order to direct and to shape and to order your life, to put you on the correct path. That's why if you abandon this word, you're going to be called Rashaim. You're going to be the ones who are wicked. You're going to be the one who's outside, who's out of order. Okay? Which Yahweh has spoken against you. You need to listen to this word that Yahweh has spoken against you. Just like he said, I'm talking against you. I'm testifying against you. People of Israel, against the entire family that I brought up from the land of Egypt. Of all the families on the earth, only you have I known intimately. You're only one. You're the only one that Yahweh knows. What do you mean, Achi'ka? You said that to be known. Oh, you have I intimately known. That word right there goes back to our word in Hebrew called yada. You're the only one that I know. You're the only one who has seen me. You said, well, you didn't see him. Yes, you did. You did. You saw the fire. You didn't see his shape. You saw the fire and you heard a voice. That's why he says you're blind and you're deaf and you're dumb and you're stupid, because your eyes haven't been open and your ears have been dull from hearing from the one who's spoken to you. Does the Most High sit there and talk to people that are deaf and dumb? Yes. In order to do what? To open your eyes so you can see. This is why I punish you for all your crimes. Because you're the only ones. You're the only ones that Yah knows. You're the only one that he gave the covenant to. Only one. Out of all the nations, you're the only people. Where's that, Achi'ka? You're saying a lot of stuff. Thank you for sharing Amos chapter number 3. But you just said that we're the only ones that ever got the law. That's what you just said. Yeah, I said it. We're going to Psalms 147. Yeah, I said it. Why? Because I remember. I read the words, the Davarim of Yah. Okay? Here it is. Verse number 19. He reveals his words, the Davarim, to Yaakov. What words? The words of the covenant. His laws and rulings. Told you they're all separate. The laws right here are the Kukim, and the rulings are what you would call the Mishpatim to Yisrael. He has not done this for other nations. They do not know. There is no yada. They do not know. They're not intimate with his rulings. Hallelujah. They don't know him, but you do. You understand? So we need to understand something. The Most High has made it clear to us that they don't know me. You do. Because you do, I'm going to hold you responsible for what you know. I don't know. You think you don't know. When they gave out the covenant, says those who are not standing here today. That's what he said. I'm making this covenant with those who are here and those who are standing here and those who are not standing here today. That's in Deuteronomy chapter number 29. Do you understand? You think you don't know? You're playing like you don't know. You do know. How else could Yah judge us? How else could he call us to be a witness? Why would he expect something from us? Who is the Kasid? Are the Kasid are the only ones who are listening to Yah. Because they're the ones who I showed you where he says, because you're listening to me, I'm going to be merciful to you. Everyone else, they're getting it. They're getting it. So now that we understand this, let's now look at the word in verse number 6 of our covenant. Okay, I'm going to share that with you. Find my other file, share my screen, and we're going to go to brought back up yada again. It says, okay, so we talked about that. Now we understand, right? So let's go over to our text that has to do with Yahweh's covenant. Okay. That's going to be found. It can be found in two places. It can be found in Exodus chapter number 20, or it can be found in Deuteronomy chapter number 5. I'm going to Exodus chapter number 20 because this is the first place that the Most High told the children of Israel about his covenant. Okay. Last time we left on chapter number 20, verse number 5. Very extensive, very thorough. Now we're going to deal with verse number 6. That's why it's called covenant edition, because it is running through Yahweh's laws. Because it's a matter of life and death for us. That's the reason why. There are 6 words that are being used here. 6. Okay. If you notice, I'm only showing you one verse at a time because I don't want to show the whole thing because you look at all these words, it gets real overwhelming. Okay. Right. I explained to you last time, or I think a lesson or two ago, where this last part right here, this little S right here, the one I got here, that right there means that the teaching has ended or it's time to take a pause. Okay. So again, the covenant is broken down in a way that's supposed to for us to take a time to separate ideas from each other so we can fully understand. So we don't supposed to read the covenant just to read it and go in like a succession, like, hey, verse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not supposed to read like that, right? We don't supposed to. It's not a magazine. It's not an article. It's not school literature. Okay, these are words that were spoken by the Most High that we supposed to take the time to look at. Okay, so when we look at the first word, it's called wa'oseh. Okay, and you see it right here. It's the first word from right to left because that's how Hebrew is. And I'm not trying to complicate it. I'm not. Okay, but I want to show you that this is a verb. Okay, and you can see that it's a verb because they have the word underneath it called a participle right here. Okay, it's a V Q A L P R T C P L M S. What that means is the first is V means a verb, it's an action. The call, the QAL, is telling you that this is a very simple action. So it's not forceful, it's not causative. No one else is going to cause it. It's just something that you're doing. For example, in Hebrew and in the culture, things can be done in a certain way. Some things are just simply done, and there's other things that you need force to do. So, say I broke something, it broke. That's simple. Okay. If I want to put some force on it, I would smash the glass. So you can break a glass, right? It just dropped, it broke. Okay, that's simple. It simply happened. It's an action that happens. If I smash the glass, I just take it and throw it on the ground, that's smashing. I still broke the glass, but it's how I broke the glass. I forcefully broke it. I smashed it. Okay. Then if someone else does something to cause the glass to be broken, they caused the glass to be broken. I didn't, someone else did, some other action did. The table shook, so the glass fell and it broke. Okay. It wasn't smashed, so that's a different verb tense. Okay. And then of course, you can do an action on yourself, right? Meaning, for example, if you had to, cut something, I cut myself, that right there, versus you being caused to be cut or something else cuts you or something like that, you can cause something to happen by yourself. That's a different way that an action can happen. So there's several different ways that things can happen. So here it's important for you and I to understand how the Most High is saying that this action is going to happen. Okay. Actions can happen in the past, the present, or the future. So past, present, and future have to do with time. Right? Things can be done that's already completed. That's in the past. That's what complete means. Something that's in the future, meaning it will happen. It hasn't happened yet. Okay. And there's things that are going on actively as we speak. That's the present. Okay. So when the Most High says showing, they got that word showing, but it's really not showing. It's really making. Okay. 6232 is not showing. That's the word that the Western mindset gave you to make you think that that's what he's talking about. I'm showing. He's not showing. He's literally making. Okay. He's doing. Making and to do is the same. So the word right there, they have wa'oseh. If I look up this word, it's going to say, it's not going to say oseh, it's going to say asa. But the reason why it's an O is it has an O sound that you can hear right here at the top. The reason why it has wa'oseh, O, is because that O sound is telling you that is an ing, is happening right now. So when the Most High is talking, he's saying that I'm not just showing it right now. He's saying I'm doing it right now. Doing what? That means that it's active. It means that it's participle. Participle means present tense. Okay, so when I talk about ing, like showing or making or doing, It's actively happening as we speak. If it is showed, it'll be SHOED, or if it's made, it would be MADE, meaning it's done, it's completed. So the work that Yah is going to do for us is something that is actually going on right now. It's never going to stop. His mercy that was following his action, what he wants to do is he said, I'm making mercy. And he's making it and he's doing it and he's bringing it about, which is the chesed. That chesed right there is talking about kindness. Okay, so it says mercy, but in Hebrew, it's not talking about mercy. They're just using that as an abstract term because that's how they understand it. The Most High, the word kesed means they got it as devoted, they got it as all these other words, but in Hebrew, kesed means kindness. So when it talks about the Most High saying, I'm going to show mercy, he's not saying I'm going to show mercy. He said, I'm making kindness. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be kind to you. Why? For those that are loving him. Okay. So how many people is he going to show this kesed to? Okay. How many? Well, he says here for the thousands. Okay. To the thousands. Okay. Not hundreds, not until, some hippie on a stick comes along. He says for the thousands. Okay. The first letter means 2 or 4. That letter right there means 2 or 4. So they translated that properly. 2, it could mean 2 or 4. It's called a preposition. What you see right here, a prep, right here on the bottom, it says P-R-E-P right here. Let me just make sure I can highlight it. Sometimes it won't let me highlight it. Right here, let me see. You can see it right there, P-R-E-P, and it has an L, and then it says number M-P, right here under this word. Right here. Okay. Well, I went to parts of speech. Okay, so let me go back. All right, so it's prep. Okay, so that when it has the word prep right here, let me see. Gosh, darn it. Let me just do right here. I'll have to highlight the whole thing, I guess. Prep. That prep right there is saying that it's a preposition. It means it's putting you in it's putting something in a location at a certain time. Okay. So he's saying, I'm making and doing kindness to the thousands, not to 1,000, thousands. That's what the number is for thousands. Alafim. Okay. And it's a male plural. So masculine plural. Okay. So the thousands, and he says, and to those, okay, that's the Lamed again. That's that shepherd staff. To the thousands. Okay, so to the thousands. So the shepherd staff is to the thousands. Okay, see the shepherd staff? That's to the thousands. Here's another shepherd staff. To the ones, the thousands of what? Of ones who are loving me. And you can see right here on the bottom, going back again, that's a V qual. That is a very simple way that something is actually happening. So when he's talking about, it says love me, it's not love, it's loving. So what he's saying is part of our covenant is if we don't have this, lahovai, okay, ahav here, right here, ahav means something, okay, and I'm going to show you what it means, okay. I have actually slides that's going to show you what ahav means, okay. So and that little part right here, again, the yod is me. The letter yod could be for he or me. It talks about him. That means the hand, okay. Meaning, you're familiar with me. Okay. Remember, yod means to be, to know, right? Touch, handle, right? Perceive, all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look and let's see what ahav, what love means, because we don't know what it means from a biblical Hebraic understanding. We only know what it means from a religious Western mindset. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going back. Be patient with me. We're pulling up the slides right quick. Okay. I'm sharing the slides. Let me see. Can you bring up, brothers, so I can change the slides? Thank you. Praise Yah. So I'm looking for a slide that has to do with love. Okay. Here's a slide that deals with love. Okay. Love here. So to say, okay, so as you can notice, the first letter up here is the aleph. To your right, we're reading from right to left. Okay. The first letter is an aleph. The second one is a hey. The next one's a bet. Okay. In Hebrew, the letter aleph means I. Okay. And if you put that aleph in front of a word, it means I will. Okay. The hey means to look or to behold or to be inspired. So what it means is a man with his hands, the ancient Hebrew is a man who has his hands lifted up to the air. He's looking at the sun. He's looking at the moon and the stars. He's like mesmerized by what he sees. Okay. And the last letter is called a bet. Okay. Or bait. And so a bait is in Hebrew it's a tent, right? That has to do with the family and has to do with the household and those who are inside the house. So to say that you love someone means that I will do what? I will look or behold or be inspired towards your family or towards your household or towards your well-being. So when we talk about I love you, when we say I love you to Yahweh, you're making a promise because you're saying I will. That's what you're saying. You don't even realize when you say I love you that you're making a promise. To love means that you're going to look towards his family. You're going to look towards his household. You're going to make sure that everything, when he talks about his household, he's talking about how things are ordered in his house, how things are supposed to be, where they're supposed to be placed, who's supposed to be in his house, who's not supposed to be in his house, what should be spoken in his house, what should not be spoken in his house. And so we know that the Most High says, I do not dwell in a house or a temple that's built with hands, but I've always lived in a tent. So when he came and he gave the Ark of the Covenant that has the 10 words, he was giving him information and giving him the agreement in order for us to have a relationship with him, to be part of his family. So he's saying that if you love me, you're going to look towards my household and what's in his house, what's inside of his tent. If the bed is the tent, what's in his tent? Oh, that's right, the covenant. Oh, that's right, the instructions, which is the Torah. Oh, that's right, the Mishpatim. Oh, they're there too. Oh, that's the judgments. Okay, the Kukim, yes, those are his decrees. Oh, yeah, the Moedim are listed there too on how you're supposed to keep the appointed times. That's inside the house. You're supposed to meet with me 3 times a year. Come and meet me in my house and celebrate with me and look out for my household and the people that serve me in my house, which is my priesthood. You're going to make sure that the Leviim have something to eat. You're going to make sure that the Kohanim get the offerings they're supposed to. And you're looking at the well-being of those who are inside my house. You're part of my family. So going back to what he said, let me share my screen again. Going back to what he said about in his covenant, that he's saying that I'm going to love you. Right? I'm showing you mercy. I'm making that right now. Why? Because I do love you. But the ones who are loving me. So, share my screen. Share the Exodus chapter number 20, verse number 6. There you go. So, those who are loving me are the ones that I'm doing this for. Those are the ones who are directed by my staff, who allow me to lead them. The ones that I lead are the ones that love me. Those are the ones who are loving me. You understand? Right there, participle, very simple action. So when you look at the idea of love, love is not something that is forceful. Yah is not forcing you to love him. It's a very simple action. It's not here to be listed as something that someone else caused you to do. This is something that you must do. This is something that you actively are doing right now in your life. And how are you loving him? Is it just loving him? Is it just looking towards his house and doing the things that were mentioned in the slides? Yes, it's part of that, but what also goes along with it? And then he says, and this letter right here that is highlighted, this and right here, this wall right here means and that's a conjunction that you would see right here on the bottom, the CONJ, the W, right there. Let me put it right here so you can see it. If this will let me highlight it. Oh, it clicked it. Let me go back. Right here. It's all here. That gives you the grammar, tells you what it is. I'm going to explain it to you so it won't be hard. So the CONJ-W means it's a conjunction. And they have a W there because that's what that letter represents. This letter WA right here means a conjunction. It means to make a connection. Okay, conjunction means connection. So it's not just he's looking for just love. He's not just looking for us to love him. He's actually looking for us to, right? And Ula, that's that Ula right here that you see right here at the top. With the ULE right here, Ula, right here. Ula, that right there is this, right here down at the bottom, Ula. Ula, and then he tells you what to do, and that's the Shomrei. That's the Shomrei, right here, Shomrei. Okay? So he's saying, the thousands that are loving me and the thousands that are guarding, not keep. This right here is a mistranslation. You're not just keeping it like it's in your pocket. You're not just keeping the covenant because you have it on your nightstand, or it's in your car in the back of the seat, or in your front seat, or on the floor. He says that I want you to guard. That's what that word shomer right there means. Okay, they have it conjugated as shomerei. That shomerei tells you that it's plural. He's talking about the individuals, the thousands that are loving him are also the thousands that are guarding. And you see the staff there. So there's the shomerei. Click on 8104. It's going to say shamar. There it is, shamar. You are the ones who are guarding. That's what shamar means. It's just not keeping. You know, they have here keepsake and all this kind of stuff, but it's guarding. Okay, is being aware, is being on guard. Okay, keeping watch, as you see right there. See, it's keeping watch over what I said. It's not just keeping it, you guard it. And the reason why he's saying this is because this is what you and I agreed to. You agreed to these words to guard what he said. Okay, where's this at? Achi'ka, you're saying that he told us to guard it. Well, where did he ever tell us in the Torah to guard it? Several places he said it, but what was the initial agreement to even go into this covenant, to even go into this agreement? See, where's that at? Where is it that he told us that we need to guard? And does he tell us to guard just 10 words, or did he put a number on it? No, he didn't just tell us to guard 10 words. Okay. The 10 words are the statements of the agreement. What he told us to do was to guard what he said. Okay. And so let me share it with you so you can understand, so you won't get it twisted. Okay. So you'll get an understanding. Okay. So the shamar right there, right? Now on the right-hand side, you see all these places where it's mentioned about keep it, guard it, keeper, all these different places. Okay. And it's in Genesis, all over the place. So it's not just mentioned in Exodus. It's not just mentioned in Deuteronomy. It's all over the place. Okay. The word is used 469 times. Okay. But I know about the covenant. I'm going to talk about the covenant. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, because it's mentioned here in the covenant, which is in Exodus chapter number 20. Okay. Right. It's in chapter number 20. But also, too, the first time that is mentioned about a covenant, because he says right here, if you can look right here on the right-hand side of the screen, right here. This is what he said. My voice and keep my covenant, mean guard my covenant, right? So in reference to a covenant, Exodus chapter number 19, verse number 5 is going to tell you about the covenant, about the agreement, okay? So before they even got into the covenant, because the covenant is chapter number 20, but he tells you about the covenant and tells you what's expected about the covenant. So you would know, so you wouldn't be asleep to it. So you was like, hey, this is what it is. Okay. So in Exodus chapter number 19, verse number 5, giving you a little bit more context, he's talking to Moses by himself and saying, hey, go tell the children of Israel that this is what I said and see if they want to do it. Okay. If they want to agree to it. So part of the agreement was, he said, now therefore, indeed, he's telling, this is an offer that's made to the children of Israel. Indeed, verse number 5, right to left. Weata, now if im Shemoah, if you are to listen, it says indeed, but it's that word there is not indeed. That word right there is listening and obeying. That's what Shema is. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu. If I click on it right there, it'll be Shema. 8085. Next word, Tishma'u. The word Shema is right there. Right there. That means listen. So this Shema right here is always infinitive absolute. That means just like your eyes blink all the time and they will always blink, like the water will always run through the rivers and the birds will always fly. That's an infinitive absolute. It's always going to happen. He's saying you have what it takes to listen. Whether it's listening to me or someone else, you're agreeing to, because you do have the ability to listen, that you're going to listen to me. It means you right here, that's you, T, and the U right here is you, plural. Tishma, you're going to listen and obey my bakolo or my bakoli, which is my voice. And then he tells you, and right here, and what? And what? Guard. Shamar, right there. Not keep, you're going to guard. Okay, so the word 8104 at the top, they have it ushamartim. That tim right there is you, which is the second person masculine plural right there. That's the T-E-M right here. Tim, right here. Tim, right here, you see at the top? Right here. This word right here. Let me see. Can we hide it? Come on. Guard. Shamar. You. Plural. You guard it. He's talking to them. Telling them that you guard my what? This right here is telling, directly pointing to you what I want you to guard. That aleph and that tav right there is telling you that it's an arrow pointing directly to what I want you to do. Okay? This is exactly what I want you to do. Okay? Guard what? My bariti. My covenant. It's my barit. What covenant? The covenant I'm going to give to you. And then he said, then you shall exist unto me what? A people. You're going to be my people then. You're going to be a very special people. You're going to be to me li a segula from Mikola ha'amim, the ki li, the kili kol laha eretz. So to me, you're going to be a special people above from all the peoples, going back to what Amos said, that of all the people on the earth, you're the only ones that I know. The ha'amim, you're going to be the people of all the earth, above all peoples. Okay? For kili, that means to me, for to me, all of the ha'aretz, all the earth is mine. Okay? And if all the earth is mine, then I'm going to give you the opportunity to rule the whole entire earth for me. But you got to ushamartim and you have to tishma'u. You got to obey and listen, and you have to ushamartim. And if you notice, each one of these verbs that is mentioned right here is done in a what? Is done in a V qual. So that is in a very simple, basic way. Right here on the bottom. Right here. Simple. Call. It's a simple way. Easy work. Over here, same thing. Call. Simple work. So I'm asking you to do something very simple. I'm not asking you to do nothing hard. I'm not asking you to do anything forceful. I'm asking you to do it in a very simple way. See? But we turn around and act like it's so hard to do what the Most High said. To do what? So are you talking about guarding the covenant? Is that what we're talking about? Achi'ka? Yes. Yes. the guardianship of a covenant. Is it hard? No. But we want to make it hard. It's not hard to guard. It's not hard to guard it. You understand? So, let me finish out. Finish up on what we had on the covenant, chapter number 20, and we're going to go to verse number 6. Pull it up for you right quick. Okay, so let's find that. Let's change this out right quick. I'm going to go to chapter number 20. And I'm going to go to verse number 6. And we'll be done. I'll be happy to answer any questions. And of course, this is going to be the theme that we've been talking about for the last week, or a couple of weeks. And this is going to be something that I'm going to be on for the next couple of weeks outside of this in my teaching as well. So now that we understand this, we can look at what the mitzvotai, and those showing and making kindness to the thousands that are loving me and keeping and guarding my mitzvotai, my commandments. So when it talks about this mitzvotai, you can see right here, it's called my commandments. The word for commandments, my commandments, is found in the word for mitzvot. Okay. And the tie right there is talking about him, my personal, they belong to him. And then he's going to tell us that this is called a mitzvah. Okay. And so when you look at the commandment, right, which is feminine, it's feminine in nature. I want you to see it. And the reason why it's feminine in nature is because you have a feminine soul. That's why the Torah is feminine. The commandment is feminine. Okay. But it's not just coming from the idea of a law and ordinance. Remember, they give you all these different definitions. They give you all these different definitions to kind of get you a little, off, right? But the main word that it comes from is called this word right here, which is called from 6680, called a tzawa. Okay, it's called a tzawa. So look at this word right here. This is what I'm talking about. So when it talks about a commandment or the mitzvotai, that word mitzvah, which is commandment, comes from the word tzawa. And tzawa, which you see right here that I have highlighted with the little green, right? It means a command. Okay, it's being commanded. The command is coming from a commander. And the commander is what Yahweh uses this word called Yahweh Tzawaot, meaning he is the commander of all heaven's armies, right? So Israel is an army to the Most High, okay? And what he has done is he has given us his laws, his statutes, and commandments, and he's given us his commands, right? And he's given us a covenant to be in agreement with us, to say that I'm your Elohim, I'm your power. Anytime you hear him say Yahweh Tzawaot, what he's saying is, I'm ready for war, because that's what a command is for. So the command is for war. Tzawaot is for war, okay? So Tzawaot has the word Tzawa in it, and Tzawa means a command, okay? And it means to give a definite command, whether it's divine or human or whatever they use right here. But it's a lot deeper. See, because they said, see the word Tzawa. That's what they say. See the word Tzawa. So let's click on Tzawa right quick. Hebraically, it's to give instructions, and it also means, they said intensively, to constitute or to enjoin. So the moment that he became our Elohim, it gave him the right and the ability to be able to give us the commands needed that he wants us to carry out. If we don't carry out the command, it then will be called treason. You understand? So remember what happened to King Shaul, or they call Saul. He was given a command by the prophet and the leader, which was called, his name was Shemuel or Samuel. And he told him to give him the command to him, to give him a charge to do an order. And he failed to do that order, and he lost the kingdom. because he went against and he disobeyed and he rebelled. And he was told that this disobedience to this commandment is worse as witchcraft. So disobedience is equivalent to witchcraft. Okay. So he says that obedience is better than sacrifice. So what the Most High wants us to do is, rather than to continue to give him sacrifices, he wants obedience. That's what he's looking for. That's because I've given you a command. Okay. I've appointed you to do something. So that is what this is all about. Okay. So that's what chapter number 20, verse number 6 is talking about. All right. So that's pretty much the end of my teaching today. And, if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. And I can answer those questions for you. I'm looking forward to having discussions with other people to discuss more about what the Most High said.
Oh, praise, bro. That was a phenomenal lesson right there. And just how you use the lamed and as far as the staff and, the Most High leading us with the staff and just how you linked it all together. It was pretty dope. And we appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you because, it's not a lot of teaching that's out here that's like that gives us, the many layers to peel back and, still more to go because we just on verse 6, y'all. Right. So just to know that it's a lot more to come and a lot more to this. And, as we peel back the many layers of the covenant, we will start to see and really understanding what the Most High wants from us and what he's saying. So we thank you, Ak. We appreciate your teaching, your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. And y'all come back for the next week. What's go ahead and tell them what you want to tell them, Moreh, and we get on out of here.
Well, basically, I thank all of you for taking the time out on this Shabbat to reflect upon the words of the living Elohim. And I'm looking forward to more teaching. I'm looking more to, sharing these ideas about, what is expected from us while you're in your exile. You're not supposed to sit here on your hands. You're supposed to be learning. And if we're not learning, then we're going to be in trouble. And that's just the truth. We're sent here not just to discover who we are and what tribe we come from and what our blood type is. All that's good stuff. And the Most High is going to make all that known to us. But at this moment, what's more essential than anything else is to recognize and to have an awareness about who we're dealing with. Because he says that you thought I was like you, meaning that I'm not like you. Things that you will allow, I'm not going to allow, and I'm going to hold you responsible. You're going to be held responsible. Period. So if that's the case, then you better know the law. You better know the covenant. Because the only way that mercy will be shown to those who are loving him are the ones who are guarding, not keeping, guarding, who are obeying and guarding the commandments of the Most High Yah. That's all I have to say today. Shabbat shalom to all of you. Looking forward to seeing you if the Most High grants us. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Shabbat shalom. To the next Shabbat, y'all. This is your boy Abia signing out. The Sabbath Talk with Moreh Achi'ka, the Covenant Edition on Spit Your Truth Podcast. We love y'all. Peace.
Shalom.
Elevation on my mind, Torah study got me growing. Yeah, I walk it like I talk it, righteous actions got me glowing. Praise my Father every day, keep on spitting till my last breath. Ain't worried about no videos of fame, I'm cashing out, but check your face screwed up like Jonah Hex. When you hear this text over melodic beats, we flood the streets with plenty. Need your plate is done, so come and eat. The Torah is my daily treat, digest it slow so I can teach my family and my friends about my Yahweh's righteous energy. He strengthens me to stay complete, I walk with him, he carries me through trials and tribulations, sets a table for my enemies. It's CK and we Bible talk. Play with us, some think that thought my enemies get roasted in the fire from this Bible talk. We wait to sheep with Bible talk. Numbers 12, that's Bible talk. We stay the course and walk the walk. You pay a price, you cross my paw. We on a righteous walk. We giving praise to Allah. We dropping jewels on these songs. Yeah, that's that Bible talk. No matter where we go, we showing out for Allah. We spit this truth, wake the sheep. Yeah, that's that Bible talk. Our Torah glowing strong because we walk with we practice our rest on Sabbath. Yeah, that's that Bible walk. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Akkad. Yep, that mean that Yah's one. That Bible talk.
Our joy is in the Torah of Yahuwah. We meditate in His word. We worship Him in truth and spirit. All praises to the one we serve. It is written we can't live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds forth from His throne. You know that armor, Yah, we got it on. We wrestle against principalities, not flesh and bone. Every day we roll with the sword of the Ruach, permeating our souls, formulating way that we talk, guide the way that we walk, down this path of life, bringing the Besorah in the dark, giving them light, lifting up the blinders that are covering up their eyes, swinging His sword, cutting off the wicked ties. It's no surprise, they hate to see us coming, spitting truth from the prophets, got Edom running, like Ezekiel 25 verse 14. Vengeance of Yah, now that's a warning. Babylon is falling, read Revelations 18. He called us out, come out from her. There's no escaping, there's no debating when it comes to Torah and facts. He's pouring out His Ruach, you can read in Acts. Yah word go forth, not void when it comes back. Truth all in our lyrics with this Bible, we say strapped.
We on a righteous walk, we giving praise to we dropping jewels on these songs. Yeah, that's that Bible talk. No matter where we go, we showing out for we spit this truth, wake the sheep. Yeah, that's that Bible talk. Our Torah glowing strong because we walk with we practice our rest on Sabbath. Yeah, that's that Bible